Okay, so I saw this clip on my feed, and I need to react to this because I really gotta see what they talk about. Chicago gangbangers are against newly arrived Venezuelan migrants as Tren de Aragua move. I can't read the rest of the title, but anywho, it's about immigrants in Chicago. So let me see what they have to say.
Gangs to enter our country. The migrants that are coming, they're taking over every block right now.
The city of Chicago is going to go up in smoke, it's going to go up in flames.
Gangs in Chicago are angry over the influx of migrants and criminals in their city. They say,
First of all, who gives a damn about what gangs gotta say? I don't give a damn what a gang member's gotta say. You're a gang member. I mean, should anyone really give a damn what a gang member has to say?
money that should be going to the African American community on the South Side is instead going to what they call non-citizens, and warn that turf wars between Chicago's gangs and groups like Venezuela's Tren de Aragua could see Chicago, quote, go up in flames. Photographer Matt McDermott and I traveled to Chicago's South Side to see what was happening for ourselves after we heard about a police report last month that the Tren de Aragua gang had taken over an office building there. We spoke to a number of young, hardcore gang members, as well as gang elders who have retired from the life, and just regular citizens who are very much part of the community. And they're all furious at the estimated $500 million that's reportedly been funneled toward new migrants in Chicago since 2022. And they are
$500 million. Now, I always say this, if you really want to get mad at the government for mismanagement of money, $500 million sounds like a lot. What about the $300 billion that they give to foreign aid to Israel not too long ago? And this is a couple years ago, and I don't know what it is now, but they give hundreds of billions of dollars. They also do it to Ukraine and a bunch of other nations. The $1 trillion war, if you really want to get mad at the government, this is a drop in the bucket, And when they when they spend money in these war zones and foreign aid instead of our own people, that does piss me off. But like I said, $500 million, that is a lot of money, but that ain't nothing to what Congress is doing. Also, look what an average congressperson gets paid. Look at their retirement. After 6 years, you can retire. 6 years in office, and we pay for that. There's so much being wasted, but they want you to focus on the immigrants because they don't want you to focus on the other things.
aren't happy either about what they say are Venezuelan criminal gangs that are leaving the shelters and spilling out into the South Side, into abandoned buildings. I spoke to
Ex-cons for Trump. Now, I'm not the smartest man in here, but I don't know if ex-cons can vote. I mean, I think they have to do their whole bit, be off probation, parole, whatever. And I want to be proud to be an ex-con. That's something that, you're a criminal. You got caught doing something, obviously a felony. If you went to prison, you're not the best and brightest. So I want to be wearing that on my sleeve, like that's something to be proud of. Yeah, I got locked up. I went to prison. I'm like, you got caught doing something. You got caught. First of all, you're a dumbass. Second of all, you're a criminal. I mean, like I could. You're not someone for me to be like taking advice from. Unless you're talking about how we shouldn't follow in your footsteps and stuff. And I do know that innocent people do get convicted, but I'm just giving these guys the benefit of the doubt that they're guilty of the crimes that they were convicted of. All right.
Tyrone Muhammad of Ex-Cons for Trump, who runs a street patrol and violence prevention program. He's gone straight since his days as an enforcer for the Gangster Disciples. And he said the situation is very tense on the south side as turf battles between the local gangs and Venezuelan migrants heat up.
It is impossible to release gang members and criminals into our country through the borders and broken walls and then infiltrate them in our communities that's already impoverished, that's already broken, that's already disinvested. And when the black gangs, the leadership in the black gangs in Chicago get fed up with the illegalities and the criminal activity of these migrants or non-citizens.
First of all, I don't give a damn what gang members got to do. You're a criminal.
The city of Chicago is gonna go up in smoke, it's gonna go up in flame, and it's gonna be nothing that the National Guard or our government can do about it when the bloodshed hit the...
You mean you're gonna have gangs versus gangs? I mean, honestly, that seems like a win-win. You know, they're taking each other out. All right, you know.
Streets, blacks against migrants.
Zach Massey did time in state prison with Tyrone Muhammad, although he's only 27. He's a leader on the streets and said he's disgusted by the money going to Venezuelan migrants at the expense, he says, of the African American community.
And I finally actually talked to him on the translator app, and he told me all the things that he got going on, how they help him with a car, apartment, clothes, rent. So it's just like, I just be looking at it like, they ain't got no social security, no, where they come from. He probably not even here legally.
So he's saying he's probably not there legally, so he doesn't even know that. Second of all, so what? Someone's getting help. You mad because you're not getting help? Look, let's say there's a church in a neighborhood giving out free food, and you can have someone like him being, oh, look at these people getting free food. They don't even go to that church. Blah blah blah. I'm like, man, it's people getting help. You know, don't hate the player, hate the game. But if you want to get mad, don't get mad at people. If someone's offering free anything, and people take it, why would you mad at the people who taking something that's being offered for free? You know, be mad at the people who are giving it. You know, but why would you be mad at them? You know, I get it in this case is because it's tax dollars, but also do note that this guy's an ex-con. He ain't getting no government help. You know, you're a grown-ass man. What kind of government help do you want? First of all, you're an ex-con, so you're less likely to get any kind of assistance, you know. And I don't blame anybody for not wanting to help you. You know, if you're at the bottom of the society, you know, there's people who like veterans and people who never committed crimes. They should take priority over a felon, you know. Just my 2 cents. People who've not committed crimes should probably get more help than people who've been in and out of prison.
They get right here, they get quick housing, quick funding, food, they get cars with no license, they can't even read English and stuff like that. So they get all these perks when they get here, and we still here starving. So what we're...
Yeah, you're there starving. Well, you don't look like you're starving, first of all. I'm gonna call BS. Look at this, dudes. Both of these dudes got big guts. You ain't starving, all right? And you're a grown-ass man. Get your ass to work. You want the government to help you your whole life? You want to be a part of the nanny state? You know, they're helping them out, and nobody's helping me out. Well, get to work. You know, all right, so like I said, I'm a veteran. Got no government help, but I don't get mad at other veterans who do. Even if I would say that they probably don't deserve it. Like I remember one time I worked at this restaurant, you know, as a server, and I was working with someone who's ex-Air Force, who had 100% disability, and she never made it past basic, you know. And here I am, not in the greatest health, been to war and back, and I get zero. But I don't get mad at someone because they work for them, you know. I just move on, you know. I still I got that drive that no matter what, I'm gonna get my piece of the bread. You know, if the government don't help me out, all right, man, I'll get it by myself. You know, I don't need a nanny state or anybody to take care of me. You know, obviously this dude, he needs it. You know, he needs to be babied his whole goddamn life.
Don't do about it. Are y'all gonna listen to our cries?
Corey Rogers was a Blackstone gang member for years. He drove us around the South Side and showed us areas
You've been a gang member for years, and now you want help.
where he said Trendo Iwagwa and other criminal gangs are setting up shop and what he called showing the flag, which means brandishing their weapons in front of like a housing project.
The migrants that are coming, they're taking over every block right now.
And I do want to say, how do you distinguish migrants from regular Latinos in the area? Because let's not get this twisted. Chicago does have Latin gangs there already that've been there for a long time. I would say the Latin Kings are pretty much it's like one of the biggest gangs there. But they do have a lot of Latin gangs out in there, and to the untrained eye, someone could just see someone brown skin and say, "Oh, they're a migrant," you know.
Area. Right now, you don't see them because they come out at night. They said
They come out at night like vampires.
they took this courtway over probably about last week. As he said, it was 100 Venezuelans standing out in the front right here.
Terry, is it an abandoned building? How did they just take it over?
They just when you take over something, you just stand outside and that's called showing the flag.
What kind of guns do they have?
Semi-automatics, anything you name.
I'm still waiting to see this stuff.
You're gonna see it on the street. These boys got so many big guns that if they're 150 pounds, the gun is bigger than them. I swear.
But they know how to handle it, right? They know what. Tell me about the fact that they're criminals, right? This is a criminal element. These aren't just a bunch of Venezuelans that walked over the border and used to be gardeners back home, right?
Right. They come from the gangland. They come from rougher gangs than us.
One gang member who only gave his name as David on a particularly dangerous drug dealing corner on the South Side did not hold back when he talked about the influx of criminal gangs from other countries.
I ain't gonna lie, this almost seems like parody. Just the whole way it's here.
To Chicago.
The real issue is that
And he says Chicago gang member, right? It don't say former, it's current, you know.
America has allowed gangs to enter our country. Gangs that they will consider ex-terrorist groups.
This is like me saying, America has allowed murder to happen in Chicago. They allow robberies every day. You know, it's just because they can't stop it, it doesn't mean they allow. It's like they're allowing mass shootings to happen all the time. They allow all this corruption and Wall Street. They allow this and that just because, again, just the inability to stop 100% of all crime does not mean that you're allowing it to happen. But this guy wouldn't know. I mean, he's obviously, if you're a gang member, you're not the best and brightest.
Here, we're terrorist groups and we're in the gang.
And you're not too bright if you're over here talking to a camera as someone who's claiming to be a gang member. That's pretty stupid, I'm just gonna say.
We got terrorists in our country.
The Reverend Corey Brooks also said to me he's disgusted with Democratic policies and said that Black Lives Matter, for example, has never reached out to help him or anyone else trying to improve conditions on the South Side.
Chicago is a blue city. Illinois is a blue state. There's no doubt about it that the majority of our neighborhood, they're going to continue to vote Democrat until they wake up. The good news is that there are a lot of people who are responding and waking up and saying, listen, we're not going to take this, we're not going to stand for this, we're going to vote differently. And they're now accepting.
Yeah, like the Republican Party gives a damn. I'm gonna tell you this, I'm not Republican, I'm not Democrat, I'm independent. Neither party cares about you. It's the have-yachts and the have-nots. If you don't have a yacht, you ain't part of the group. If you ain't rolling in paper, you don't make it to the table. You're nobody. You don't matter. You got to be part of the elite in order to matter, and that's a fact.
some of the values that I hold dear and some of the values that the conservative Republican Party holds so dear. And so for a lot of people, it's not about the person, it's about the policies that we're fed up with. And as a result, I think this is going to be the largest amount of people who have voted for a Republican president in Chicago that we've seen.
And I'm gonna tell you this: I'll bet my freaking life savings that at the end of the day, Chicago's still gonna be blue. I don't give a damn what he's talking about. It's gonna be the largest. You're still such a minority. It's still gonna be blue.
I also spoke to one Venezuelan man who was so scared of being identified that he put a hoodie on and refused to face the camera. He told me in Spanish that he had to flee the building where he's being housed because a Venezuelan criminal gang took it over. He said if they knew he was talking, they'd end his family's life back in Venezuela with one bullet. You know, what struck me the most about our week in Chicago was how intelligent and self-aware.
I'm just saying, if this was like Vice, they would go into the building that is alleged to be overtaken by gangsters. If you want to tell me there's a freaking apartment complex being taken over by gang members, show me the proof. You know, it shouldn't be hard. I saw some YouTubers go to Colorado to a building that was allegedly taken over by Venezuelan gang members, and they went there. You know, looked around for them. You know, show me the proof.
These gang members. And
I'm not calling BS. But I'm just saying, if it's so bad, it should be easy to freaking prove, you know?
Ex-gang members
are. They went driving around. I still haven't seen any migrants on camera.
About their community. You understand when you talk to them that joining a gang and making big money selling drugs is often too tempting to resist when faced with a lack of other real opportunities to make money. And for a place known mostly in news stories for being bloody and violent at night, the area is like a village during the daytime. Everyone knows each other, and believe it or not, there's a friendly vibe. But we spoke to a lot of people, and their patience is being stretched thin. I would not be surprised to see the gangs here taking action once the Venezuelans try to get a real foothold.
All right. So she didn't really show anything, and this I'm objective, you know. If you want to convince me, show me proof. Don't just tell me alleged stuff. You know. Oh yeah, man. They be walking around with giant freaking rifles and stuff. Really? You're walking around in Chicago with a giant rifle, and nobody's calling the cops to say, hey, there's some dude walking. It's not open carry if I'm correct, and at least I wouldn't think in Chicago in the city it's not open carry. You're telling me some people are walking around with open rifles like that? Freaking A. And again, all you saw was a bunch of grown-ass men complaining that they're not getting help. And yet, all of them claim to be gang members, ex-gang members, ex-cons. Hey, look, man, you chose a life of crime. It's going to be rough. It's gonna be rough getting a job, you know, especially as an ex-criminal, and you had to think about that before you chose that life, you know. And sometimes ain't nobody gonna help you out. Look at me, like I'll show you, a veteran, no help. I could be crying all day, but I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make it on my own. Screw it, you know. And I don't hate I'm not a hater, you know. If someone else is getting help, I'm glad you are, you know. It sucks that I'm not, but hey, if you could get it, you know. If you could get food stamps, if you could get welfare, if you could get any help, more power to you, you know. I wasn't raised with money, you know, so I know what it means to be poor, you know, and any little help, you know, can help you out of poverty. So I don't hate anybody for getting it. And really, when I get mad at government, I get mad at the money that's wasted overseas more than here, you know, because $500 million sounds like a lot. Look at the several hundred billions given to foreign aid, you know, that funds a genocide. So and mass murder in a large scale, all over Europe and the Middle East. You know, at least here when it's given to for food and welfare, I don't feel as bad as when it is for what they use it over there. But let me know your thoughts. You know, what you think about these gang members crying, whining because they can't get no help.